Kawasaki has updated its race-winning KX250 for 2023. There's some small design and cosmetic tweaks, but some pretty significant technical updates underneath. Question is, do these changes elevate the Cowie to new heights against its competitive set? We're at the Mount Kembla motorcycle circuit in New South Wales. Let's find out.
Kawasaki has worked hard on refining the KX250 formula in recent years, applying major and consistent updates since this generation of bike first launched in 2020. For 2023, the Japanese manufacturer has undergone another evolution, with increased engine performance across the mid-range and top end of the rev spectrum, revised suspension settings, and the fitment of new Dunlop Geomax MX33 tyres. It is the engine which boasts the lion's share of changes, with tweaks to the inlet valve angle and valve seat clearance, a revised piston crown, a repositioned injector and intake duct, plus a longer exhaust header pipe. It does so while retaining its competitive sticker price of $12,512, including dealer delivery and assembly.
So on face value, this looks largely the same as 2022, but that is no bad thing. The Kawasaki KX250 has been really evolutionary progress for the past few years. This platform has been around since 2020, and it's just got better ever since then. Looking at it, sitting on it for the first time, it's a bike that feels super comfortable. I'm about 176 centimeters tall, 80 kilograms, and I jump on it straight away and feel really comfortable with how everything is set up. It's also a bike with a lot of adjustability. So you've got 4 different adjustments for the handlebars, 2 different adjustments for the foot pegs. The seat is flat. Through the middle of the bike, it feels really narrow as well. It feels like a balanced motorcycle. The other thing I'm really looking forward to seeing is the Dunlop Geomax tyres. I'm a big fan of them around this circuit, the 33s in particular. They seem to hook up really well, so I feel like they're going to be really well matched to Mount Kembla's layout. Caveat with the technology here, yes, the Cowie ticks the most basic boxes in terms of a launch control function. It has electric start as well. It doesn't have the traction control system that some of its rivals are using. And the riding modes, yes, it has 3 different riding modes, but you cannot change them on the go via the handlebars. You've got these plugs here just near the head stem that you have to actually physically pull out back at the pits and change over. So we've only got the green standard plug today and really interested to see how it goes.
As we discovered recently with the larger KX450, there is a bit to be desired with plastic quality and alignment on the Cowie 250. Within one ride at Mount Kembla, we found the shrouds and airbox were really scuffed, while the brittle plastic on the lower fork guards, chain roller and other items weren't quite up to the standard of rival machines. On a similar note, access to the airbox involves removal of 2 different sized hex bolts, at a time where other machines now offer toolless removal. But enough with the chat, let's hit up Kembla.
I don't think I can put this in any more certain terms other than to say I don't remember jumping on a new bike, bog stock, and feeling as comfortable as I did on this today. Straight out of the box, within half a lap, I felt like the front to rear balance was perfect. The grip over the front wheel was really good, and the bike was telegraphing everything I wanted it to underneath without feeling overly busy. It's a really nice trade-off and balance, and it speaks really highly of this motorcycle in general. There is this perception out there that, you know, once you graduate from junior lights and move into the senior grade, you spend a couple of years on a 250 and go to a 450. I was a student of that sort of belief as well myself. But having ridden this, I think a lot of people are probably doing themselves a disservice by going straight to a 450, because this has plenty of power, it's tractable, it works really well. And yes, you have to ride a gear higher than a 450 machine, but I reckon 9 out of 10 people at a circuit like this are going to be quicker on the 250. That's just how manageable, how nimble, and how confidence inspiring it is.
The biggest point of difference here can be isolated in suspension, particularly the fitment of the 250's KYB forks and shock. which both feature revised compression damping to deliver a more focused and agile riding experience compared with the 450, which uses Showa components. That brings us to the 250 engine, which has a sharper focus on mid-range and top-end power for 2023, with negligible effect on the lower end of the spectrum.
Up towards the top, I don't think it has quite the pull of the new 2023 KTM 250 or Husky 250, but that doesn't really matter because you're using the mid-range more anyway. So if you work to this bike's strengths, it'll really work to you as well. Gear ratios are spot on. I feel like there's a gear for any occasion here. This Mount Kembla layout is very flowing, very undulating. I spent most of the day here in third and fourth gear, and at no point did I really feel like I was wanting for more power. It had power right in the middle of the rev range. Yes, occasionally you kind of revved it out, but just click up another gear and off you went. Components on this bike too have been quite surprising. It's very easy to criticise a Japanese bike for not being quite as well with its braking performance, its clutch feel, things like that. I really find it hard to fault this machine. Front brake in particular has a lot of bite, big rotor on the front, it works really well, and the clutch as well. It's light in its take up, it's super tractable and easy to use.
Complaints around the new Kawi 250 really extend to superficial gripes. The longer exhaust header pipe design means it now protrudes prominently from the engine clutch cover. This means the header pipe can occasionally impede those who like to weight the front wheel through right-hand corners. Elsewhere, the lack of switchable maps via the handlebars and the absence of traction control are other minor shortcomings. Otherwise, you can expect to replace consumables a little more frequently than some rivals, a factor partly offset by the Kawi's cheaper purchase price.
As you might be able to tell, I'm a huge fan. I think it's a perfect bike for intermediate or advanced riders, but it's also a bike that beginner riders will be able to really learn their craft on, build confidence and become a better rider. To me, it's the full package. It has the stability and the predictability of the larger 450s, but with that added layer of aggression. Quality components, great drivetrain and a confidence-inspiring bike. I'm a big fan.